Okay, so welcome everyone. This is a very exciting session. I am Claire Sterngold and I am the Yay Community Manager, and I'm thrilled to be here today welcoming Ligia Koijen Ramos, who is our expert facilitator today, who's going to be taking you guys through an amazing session. I know it's amazing because we had one earlier this week. This is the first Yay Advanced Entrepreneur Masterclass of the year. This is an ongoing series that we do through the Yay community to support young entrepreneurs like yourselves with critical skills that can help you in setting up and operating your business. So before we jump into the content today, just a little bit of information about Yay community and as well about the International Trade Center. For those of you who are not familiar, the International Trade Center is the joint agency of the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. And our mandate is to support small businesses to access international markets, to compete in those markets, and to engage in trade. Within ITC, as we call it for short, I work specifically in the youth department where I oversee the Yay community. Yay community, for those who are not familiar, is a global community supporting young entrepreneurs from around the world to access a network of their peers, to access mentors, materials, e-learning content, and as well, we work directly with many of our network members to set up in-person communities called Yay chapters. So if you're not already part of the Yay community, I'm going to share a link in the chat so that you can join. We'd love to see you on the platform and learn more about who you are and your business. So I will share that link later. But before I do that, I'm happy to introduce again our expert mentor for today, Ligia Koijen Ramos. She is the founder of Into Motion, which is a professional coaching and leadership training organization. She has also written a book called The Spiral of Superpowers and the Smallest Leadership Book. She's a philosopher and a communications and relationships expert. So we are so thrilled to have Ligia calling in today from Portugal. Ligia, thank you so much for joining us, and I will now go ahead and hand it over to you.
Thank you, and all welcome to this talk and this, let's call it, workshop. I'm calling from Portugal, but you normally can find me in Amsterdam. So I live in Holland. I'm enjoying some holidays. Right now in Portugal is sunny and a little bit warmer than in Holland for what I hear. So I would like to ask you, and because we are talking about also public speaking and presenting ourselves and connecting. Every time that is possible, I will ask you to turn your camera on. And this is my first advice. As a trainer, as a specialist in relationships, one of the first things is that we need to take the decision when we want to connect. And when we decide to connect, we need to do it whole. So we don't leave parts away. One of the things that I think is a matter of attitude is this thing online. And a lot of times we see this, that people just have the camera off for many and different reasons. Some of them I totally understand. Some of them I don't understand at all. So I'm going to tell you a story to start. One day I was the beginning of the school year, and thank you so much. So was the beginning of the year, and was my oldest daughter that is in high school right now was in a new class. So we were just meeting the parents, and we didn't knew each other. And we had an online call because, yeah, at that time was still the thing. So I was in the call and my daughter said, so did you meet a lot of parents? Could you reach the parents of my friends? And I said, not really. I said, why not? And I said, yeah, because I saw a bunch of black squares. And my daughter said, I don't understand. And I said, what do you don't understand? Because if for us, in school, and the teachers are always saying that we need to have the camera on. If we don't have the camera on, we have a minus. And if we don't show ourselves, we are going to have problems. It's going to be considered in our evaluation. Why the parents are doing that? And I like, good point. Good point. why we are so demanding when people are doing things to us, and we are not so demanding when we are doing things to others. And that is the principle. And I'm doing business, let's say, let's put it like this. I work now for 25 years. Um, of course, I had some summer work, but that doesn't count when I was a teenager. But as a professional, I'm working now for 25 years. And I started I was a teacher in high school and university, and then I went to retail, to fashion, and then I decided, together with my husband, to create Into Motivation and train people. And one of the things that for me, even when I select my team, at this moment, I have a team of 11 people working with me. And when I select my team, I always say, for me, the most important thing is that you understand the principle of service. And people say, yeah, but I have a lot of experience and I did a lot of things and I work in a lot of different stuff. And I said, okay, show me your sense of service. And for me, this is very important when we are talking about entrepreneurships. I like people that are really looking for creating their own business and are looking for the possibility of making that product, their ideas, a success, is the sense of service. And the sense of service comes not only the sense of service for others, but the sense of service for myself. When we are not aware of this sense of service, can be that we are doing things to others that we will not like to receive back. Yeah. So that is the one of the things that what is the sense of service, and how can I put my sense of service in everything that I do, in every time that I connect with someone. Any ideas? This is the time that you can open your mic and just say, it's party zone. So you open your mics and you say, okay, what is for me service? What that means? Any ideas? Can be anything.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, for me, I think it's about being able to feel appreciated and valued. Yeah.
Okay, appreciation, super important, right? Yesterday I had, I'm doing also some sessions here because when people know that I'm in Portugal, normally they ask me for some private sessions. And was a lady that was saying to me, yeah, I thought this idea that we need to be able to, now is a little bit of a modern term, self-love, right? And I thought that I need to look for my possibility or the possibility of me appreciating myself, right? And I'm like, perfect, but you will not survive without the appreciation of others. We are connection animals, right? We need to feel that other people are seeing us. We need to feel that other people are finding us relevant. Of course, we can do that by myself. I can do that by myself. I look to the mirror like, wow, wow, some days, wow, girl, you got it. Some days that doesn't happen. But most part of the days, I look to myself and I'm like, I like you. Woman, I like you, But that is not enough. I still need someone to tell me, I like you too. I find your ideas cool. I find your thinking interesting. I don't know. And appreciation is something that sometimes we feel like we need it, but sometimes we forget also to give it. Right? How cool it is. My mom had a restaurant many years, so I worked many times in the restaurant helping. And how cool it is to give food to someone after the meal. Someone says, this was really good. This meal was really nice. Thank you so much. And you go like, okay, let's continue, because people are seeing it and they are liking it. But remember, if you like it, do it as well. give appreciation to other people like crazy, you know, tell other people that they are intelligent, that they are nice, that you like them, that you love them as well. It's so important. I totally agree with you, Linda. Any other ideas? What is service for you? I can wait.
To me, it's a bit, sorry. To me, it's a bit similar to what Lydia was saying. Hi, I'm Julia. It's kind of making others feel good, and yeah, support them in achieving what they want to achieve.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I like the word supporting. I don't like the word helping. I love the word supporting, because supporting means that you are side by side, right? That we are holding each other, that we are sharing. And it's not, because helping has this moral it's not going to come out, superiority. It's not totally right, but you understand what I mean. So it's putting myself above the other person. Every time that I say to someone, I'm going to help you, I'm saying, I know more than you. So if it's not the situation that you can help, because yeah, sometimes it is, for instance, I don't know, to your child, or even something that you know how to do better, you can say, okay, I can help you with that. But if it's not, if it's a matter of service, it's a sharing point. And why you're going to see that this is really important. This difference between I'm going to help you or I'm going to support you. And a lot of times people tend to use the word helping. And I will say, delete a little bit the word helping for from your vocabulary and start using more the support word. I will support you. I will be here for you. What do you need? And corresponding to that need is super important. And when we are presenting and when we are with, for instance, clients, it's very important that we come across as supportive and not as a help. Only if you are in the pharmaceutical or medical service, that sometimes is help. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm seeing a name that I know. Mariana.
Yeah, this is Federico.
Federico, tell me things.
Yeah, so you have to be empathetic.
Ah, that is the thing. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Some things, and I'm being highly provocative, okay? So be prepared, open your arms and say, okay, I'm going to receive it. What is empathy?
Yeah, be able to like feel the other's
Yes.
perspective or feelings.
Yes. That is, empathy is the ability of feeling what other people feel. And that's it, yeah? How can you feel empathy for other people?
Yeah, I
How
guess
can you
it's
do
a
that?
natural. Yeah, it's a natural human instinct, unless like you're a psychopath or something. But I think everyone has some level of empathy, and sometimes you can nurture their empathy and be able to understand other people maybe through
Yes.
their like education or or like play setting, you know.
We are not animals, and I'm just going to. I'm very picky with some things, and this is one of them. We are animals of connection, and that you are totally right. We have the ability of connection. We are not animals of empathy. Huh? So we are not. So the ability of feeling the other person without our own, let's say, understanding of what the other person is feeling is not a human ability. Not in general. Some people have it more than others, and even some studies show now that is some differences in the brain when people are really empathic. Okay, what is necessary, and what sometimes happens is that people are so focused in being empathic that they lose the connection. And this is very interesting because we think that empathy will amplify the connection. Not true, or not necessarily true. Because imagine that I'm able to feel what you feel. I'm fully able to support you. If I'm feeling what you're feeling, do you think, or do you all think that I'm able to support someone? No. If you are doubting, you know already the answer. No. Why not? Because imagine if you are sad and I'm sad with you and we stay in the sadness, I'm not able to support you, for instance, if you want to go out of the sadness, right? So the exercise is a little bit different. And I'm going to share with you some principles that I name, and I did that, I named them as the principle of excellency. And you can use these principles in everything that you do. You can use these principles in emails that you write. You can use these principles in presentations that you do. You can use these principles in your life, not only in your business, okay? One of the main things when we are talking about the capacity of connection and communicate with other people in a way that makes us assertive. And for me, this is very important. Why? Because communication has, let's say, an intention, right? Why we are communicating. Why I'm talking to you guys now. Why I make my time to communicate with you. For me, is always the communication, whatever type is, needs to promote change. The communication and interaction that we are having, in my perspective, needs to promote change. Otherwise, it's unnecessary. You lose time. You are just losing time, right? And change can be, I don't know, you are like this, and you start smiling. That is a change, right? And that happens because you are interacting with someone, for instance. So it's not change of life, but sometimes it's, for instance, change of emotional state, the way that you feel, the way that you think, change of environment, for instance. So every time, and this is a principle that I call it an operational principle. If my communication is not promoting any change, it's time for me to shut up. It's time for me to hold on and shut my mouth and saying, okay, someone is better than me doing this. So the first thing that I want to ask you is, what is your intention? And if you have a business, for instance, is an amazing question. Do you know that most part of the people don't know how to reply to this question when I ask them? Yesterday, I was helping someone with, in terms of consultancy, helping to prepare a presentation for a big client. And I was helping and say, okay, what is your intention? What is the intention of the company? Why do you exist? And the person was like, to make money. And I'm like, I hope so, because yeah, I want to be paid. But if you only have the intention of making money, yeah, that is not enough, right? So what is your intention? And this is the first question. What is your intention? If I ask you, what is your intention for your business? What is your intention for a particular presentation? What is the intention of a product? Can you reply to this question? without doubt. It's something that someone asks you, like, boom, done, it's done. I know it, and this is why I work every day. This is the standard. This is my slogan. This is my mantra. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you, let me think, 3 minutes, okay? And I'm going, Claire, I don't know if you can help me with that. If you can create groups of 3 persons.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And then in the groups of the 3 partners, you are going to say, okay, this is my intention. This is, and can be your intention personally, can be the intention of your business, can be the intention of one particular product that you have. Just say what is the intention for, and then, okay, this is my intention. And share it with other people. It's very important. So 3 minutes to do that. Okay, if you need anything, we are here, so you can call us and we enter your group to support you. Yeah, have fun.
I'm going to open them now, so you can click to go to the room. Ligia, I've done it automatically, so it'll send you to a room, but then you can just immediately.
Okay, I stay there, it's fine. I can
Okay, here we go.
We are, okay. So how was it? How was this exercise? How was it to share your intention with others? How that made you feel?
Okay, maybe I go.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed this exercise. I think sometimes it's good to rethink, you know, what's your big objective and your intention. So we had a, you know, interesting discussion with Ligia and Federico and sharing what our goals. And one of the things I mentioned was that for me, I think it's important to have this longer term intention, but also to have these, you know, milestones that will help you to reach this longer term intention. So it was a
Yeah, I also said that, yes, of course, because of course, when we have, for instance, a life intention or for our business, for instance, it's important that we also think, okay, and today, and this meeting, and this phone call, what is my intention? Because of course, that long-term intention and the intention that is like the basis, that also needs to be translated for anything that you do. And sometimes it's this small moments like a phone call or an email or a meeting that is also important, that you say, okay, but what is the intention for now? And what I'm going to do now. The intention, one of the biggest differences from intention and a goal is that a goal is always in the future. And a goal, you only know that you reached the goal after. You know, I always give this example because I worked in a, when I was, before I ended my studies, so during my university time, I was working in a football club as a coach, mental coach, let's call it like that, for the football team, all the smallest. And what I always give this example, there was many times that we will only celebrate a winning sometimes 1 or 2 minutes after the referee ended the game. Yeah, so we will not celebrating the winning before, because we didn't know it's in a football game, in a football match, until the referee ended the game is the possibility of someone score. And we know that because in some very dramatic moments that happened, right? Like 1 minute and suddenly like, what the hell happened here? So we always wait. And what happens when you have a goal? And if you do it physically, if I say to you, where is your goal? What are you going to do? You're going to put it out, right? Out of you and in the future. But imagine that my goal is here, okay? When do I know that I reached this goal? Is 1 second after. The question is, can I change anything? No, it's done. I need to wait for the next match. I need to wait for the next meeting. I need to wait for the next opportunity. And sometimes we don't have. That is the reality, right? Sometimes we don't have a second opportunity. When we are talking about intention, we are talking about intention. Huh? So tension makes things move. You know that, right? So when I'm talking about intention, I want in tension, I move. Okay? So what makes the difference is that when I have an intention, I can always measure in the way that I'm walking to the future, I can always measure if I'm having and I'm fulfilling my intention. And that is a huge difference. And when you are doing, for instance, public speaking, that is always what you need to be doing, because you cannot wait until the end of your talk to check if your talk was a success. Like, no, you need to be here, and every time that you speak, you need to see, okay, I'm having the reaction that I want. I'm having the impact that I want. Do I see the faces that I want to be seeing? And if not, you need to do something different. Yeah? So that is one of the principles, is as always, always write down, and I say write down for a reason, write down your intention. Put it, I even say, like, for instance, if you have a notebook and you're going to have a meeting, you know, you open and you put the intention up, and then you take notes of the meeting. But every time that you feel, okay, this is going the right direction, you look to your intention and you check it. Yeah. So that is very important, because that will make you be more aware if what is happening is corresponding to what you want. And one of the things is that sometimes people say to me, oh, but I also need to pay attention to what the other person wants. Yes, but that you cannot control. You cannot control the other person. You can ask what the other person wants, but you cannot totally control that they get it, because it depends in a lot of different things. The only thing that you can control is you. One of the things that we know is that certain things are contagious. And that is what we need to trust. Emotions are contagious. So if I'm enthusiastic, I create the possibility of making someone else enthusiastic, right? If I'm sad, I amplify the possibility of making someone else sad as well. So one of the things that you can trust is that because we are animals of connection, and we can use that in our favor, is that you are contagious. So in a good way, I hope. So you are contagious. So if you are able to be in your intention in a full way and totally engage with your intention, you can amplify the possibility of the other person to be also in that emotional state and be following you. Makes sense what I'm saying? Yeah. People on the black squares, say something to me. Otherwise, I'm just looking to a black square. I feel like, I don't know, I'm in the universe, you know, in a black hole. That is not nice. So send me a hand, send me a heart, tell me something if I'm saying something totally absurd. One of the things that, so the first point that I want to show you and say that is important is that you have an intention. The second point that I want to make sure that you get it as well as a tool is rapport. Who knows the word and the meaning of rapport? hands, hearts, kisses. I don't know. You can send anything.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Rapport.
But what was the question?
If you know what it is and the meaning.
Rapport.
Rapport. Yes, Julia. Yes, rapport. I can say it in French as well. Rapport, because it comes from there. So it's a French word that means, and it's really cool. I find this fascinating. You know, the comes from the French, and it comes from the tissue that is done like this. So, you know, so it's not like this, is this, like totally connected. And that is what it means, is connection. Some people call it, some people also say, is the click between people. And I say, yes, it's the click. One time I was doing in France a training, and I used the word, and I was explaining the word, was also public speaking. And one lady in the break comes to me and say, Ligia, are you sure that you want to use this word? And I said, I'm pretty sure, because it's a technical word. And she said, you know, because this is in French means a little bit of sexual thing. And I said, yes, it's a kind of an affair, you know, it's a kind of it's this click that you trust the other person. You know, this type of flirting in a good way. But it's this type of flirting that you trust the other person, that you probably had it. You have moments in your life that you say to someone that you just met, and you are having a great conversation, and you said, wow, I'm saying things to you that I never said to anyone else. Everyone had a moment like this, right? And this is rapport. This is the most beautiful rapport ever. And we are designed as humans to do this rapport. The thing is that we are going to do this naturally, without any effort, with people that we are more alike. So they have this, or they work in the same place as us, or they speak the same language that we do, or they like the same music, they dress the same way. So we are naturally called by people that are like us, that we feel like, okay, I can have a conversation with you. Rapport becomes a tool when the other person is totally the opposite of us. So when the other person is very different from us, then rapport becomes a tool that I can use to connect. So the connection is not natural. We feel like, okay, this is not an easy match, but I still want to connect with this person because I don't know, this person is relevant for the business. This person is important for me, or I recognize for instance, the intelligence of this person. Doesn't mean that it's going to be my friend, yeah? But I recognize this person as someone that is important. So rapport becomes a tool, becomes something that I can use to connect to this person, even if the connection is not natural. How can I do rapport? Anyone else? How can I do this? And this is the difference between the empathy thing and rapport. I say you don't need to be empathic, you need to know how to do rapport. And you are okay. You don't need to go and feel other people and get sometimes very drained by that. You just need to know how to do rapport. Yeah. So anyone has any idea how to do this?
All right, thank you. My name is Siadenda. Good afternoon. Yes, so how I feel mostly, one of the most important things is harmony has to be there somehow. So if you kind of create an environment which feels harmonious, it's easy for you to click with the other person and be able to understand and communicate well.
Yeah, that would be ideal, right? That we have a moment and we can create, an environment that is that everyone feels safe, that everyone feels welcome, that everyone feels relevant, right? But with rapport, you don't necessarily need this. And this is why rapport is a high performance tool. That's why rapport is really something that everyone should have and know how to do it as a tool. I'm going to give you a very practical way of doing it. First, words. Use the same quality of words that the other person uses. And this is one of sometimes of the biggest mistakes, is that, for instance, we know our product so well, we know our field so well, that sometimes we speak and we are the only ones that understand what we are saying. Because we speak in a so technical way that the other person has difficulties to understand what we are saying. So I have a great example. One time I was doing many years ago training in a travel agency and sales training, and was a client, and the client was asking this amount that the trip costs has already included the bus from the airport to the hotel, or I need to pay it extra. And the lady from the agency was saying, the transfer is included. And the client said, no, not the transfer, not that. The bus, you know, when you come out of the airport, the bus that takes you directly to the hotel is included. That is what I want to know. And the girl said, okay, again, the woman said, okay, the transfer is included. And I was by her side and I was like, and she's like, no, yes, the bus is included. The bus that goes to, because it's exactly the same thing, transfer, and the bus that goes from the airport to the hotel is the same thing. But it's a technical word. Transfer is a technical word for them. So the buyer, the client, was not getting it. And she was insisting because she wanted to use the technical word. And I go, why? If the client doesn't understand, just speak the language that the client understands. Otherwise, it's like a monologus, you know, like you are talking to yourself. So, and she's like, oh my God, yes, I forgot. And this is how simple can be, or using the word that the other person is giving to you. For instance, if someone says, this is expensive, and you go like, no, this is totally an amount that is possible for you to pay. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's expensive. I'm not saying that it's not an amount that I cannot pay. You see the difference? If someone says, I'm sad, and he said, oh, are you frustrated? What do you feel? You feel like that. You don't understand anything. Like if someone is not using your word, you feel like the other person is not listening to you. That is not what I said, is what people say, right? You are not listening to me. So always use the language that you are receiving back. That is one word. The second thing, thank you. Someone is saying that makes sense what I'm saying. I always appreciate that. The second thing is your non-verbal. So the non-verbal is voice and body language. Yeah. So what happens is that what I see a lot, and I see this a lot, is people saying, for instance, yes, of course. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you saying one thing with your words and doing another thing with your head? So always pay attention that your body needs to be saying exactly what your words are saying. Otherwise, people will not believe you. And you have this, you have this experience of listening to someone or hearing someone. Politicians normally are a good way of learning this. that they are saying something, makes all the sense in the world, and you go like, why I don't trust you? Why I have this internal sensation that you are not saying everything? Because most probably you are reading the nonverbal. Every human being is able to read the nonverbal. Every human being. The only difference is that, for instance, I have a name because, yeah, it's my specialization. That is what I do for many years. So my eye is very trained and I know what is happening. So, okay, I put things in a more scientific way. For you, or for most part of the people, will just say, I don't know if I trust you. Yeah. What happens is that when you are hearing words from the person, the words go to a place in your brain to be filtered. That is the prefrontal. When you see the nonverbal, that information goes to the back of your brain, to a different place. And then what happens in your brain is that these two informations, they go together to create a message. When this information doesn't match, like one thing is giving you something and the other information is giving another, the brain cannot get it, cannot grasp it, cannot place it. This is what prevents that you trust the person. So you are not trusting because your brain cannot match this information, cannot make it one, cannot give it a name, for instance. So one of the important things is everything that you do, your nonverbal needs to be saying the same. Yeah, is rapport. With other people is me taking the nonverbal of the other person. So imagine that the other person is saying something, no, but I want this for tomorrow. And I go like, yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after. I don't know. You can already see that this is not going to work, right? So if the person is saying, I want this for tomorrow, what I should be doing is something like, I don't know if I can deliver tomorrow. I'm using the same nonverbal. And I'm also giving you already the tone of voice. And sometimes what happens is that, and we were talking about service in the beginning, and we tend to confuse service with me doing, let's say, almost like being submissive to the other person. Saying, oh no, I need to please the other person. But for instance, if you have someone with this nonverbal, you need to give back this nonverbal because this will be rapport. And the other person will feel, oh, okay, she got it. She's in the same pace that I am. She's in the same vibe, the same energy, the same mindset, call it whatever you want, but means that the person gets that you are connected. Yeah? The third way is to use the same type of voice. And that means the same velocity, the same tone, and the same pace. So if someone is talking a little bit more staccato, that is how we call it, like, I want this tomorrow, you should be coming with this person saying, I don't know if I can get just this tomorrow, and not, oh, I don't know if I can get that tomorrow. I don't know, because the person will feel that is not matching. So rapport is the tool for engagement. If you want to engage people, you need to be in rapport with them. Every time that you have resistance, the only thing that you need to do is create more rapport. Resistance is only missing rapport. Yeah? If you face in any moment of your life resistance, that means that in some moment you broke rapport with that person. Yeah. So resistance is not because the other person doesn't like you, the other person doesn't want your product. It just means that you probably broke rapport in some moment. Rapport, you can build it and you can break it, like I just said. And you can use also breaking rapport to do business. And sometimes it's really useful to break rapport to do business. To say, okay, we are not going there. Or for instance, I will not give you any discount. This is breaking rapport, and sometimes is necessary. In business is building and breaking rapport. So you can also use the tool of breaking rapport. For instance, if a client is going too far, if a client is asking a lot of discounts, if a client is not respecting your product, for instance, is a moment to say, yeah, we stop and we break rapport. Yeah. One time I had a young woman, we were talking about this, and she said to me, oh, I need to know, I need to learn how to do that, to break rapport. Because most part of the people want to know how to build rapport. And she said, no, for me it's how to break rapport. And I said, oh, okay, but in any particular situation? And she said, yeah, it's a very particular situation because I have a boyfriend. Well, it's not really my boyfriend, but I try already to break up with him 3 times, but he still has the keys of my house. So I don't know how to do this. And they're like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to break rapport. So sometimes for some people, it's really to learn how to break rapport because they are too nice. They are too empathic. They are too willing to support other people. And sometimes we need to make a break. Make sense what I'm saying? Until now? Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so the third thing that I would like to tell you and to say that I think is also very important is the ability of being flexible. Is the ability of saying, I'm not a tree, so I can go do, I'm doing this. If this is not working, I'm going to change my approach. And what I see sometimes is that most part of the people that are starting a business, they want like, okay, no, this is my idea and this is how I want to do it. And I'm really going for it. So sometimes, yeah, becomes a little bit unflexible. And it's like the market is giving you some feedbacks, but the person is so focused because I understand it's our little baby, right? It's our thing, it's our effort, and our lives sometimes is totally there. Not only our money, but also our lives, that we dedicated a lot of time to that. And sometimes you're like, no, I'm not able to change. I don't want to change because, yeah, this is how I imagine it. And I say, yes, great, but it's not working. If it's not working, if in any moment you receive a feedback that is not exactly the feedback that you are waiting for, then it's time to create flexibility. The thing is, if you have an intention really clear, you're going to find out there is many roads that can lead to the same intention. So the main thing that you should be worried is like maintain your intention, create flexibility in the ways that you approach your intention. So don't give up on your intention, don't give up on your dream, but find ways that are more efficient to reach your intention. Yeah, and this is a big thing because that will make you also able to receive feedback from other people. Yeah. So I want to do another exercise again in groups, this time in groups of 4. I want you to go back to your groups, to the groups. You say, okay, this is my intention. What is the point of rapport that I need to improve? Words, body language, or voice. So what do I need to improve in rapport? And ask to the other 3 people, what will be ways that you will be using to reach this intention. Got the exercise? So that you get other mindsets, that you get other ideas, how could be a way to reach your intention. You don't need to use them, but you can keep them if you like them, okay? So first, what is my intention? Second, what is the point of rapport that I can improve? Third, what is from the other colleagues ways of reaching your intention? And for this exercise, I'm going to give you 7 minutes. Everyone is to speak, okay?
Okay, I'm going to make the rooms. Looks like we will have 4 in every room except for 1. So I'm going to open them. Please go ahead and join.
We are back. Okay, how was the exercise?
All right,
I heard that some people, sorry, I heard that some people had some disturbance with the mics and cameras, but how was it in general?
Oh, okay. I think on my part, with the people I was paired with, though the time kind of limited one of us, but at least we got to get everybody's intention and kind of trying to see whether they want to break or improve on the report. Otherwise, it was very insightful, and you know, I got to understand one thing, like sometimes the challenges are a bit have commonalities in them. The basics are a bit you get to see at all. Yeah, and it has to. I think, yeah. Let me just say it that way on an overview point.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes Martin is saying that the time was fast. Yes, we have to, yeah, some restrictions in that terms. But this is something that I will always advise you to do when you have even. I'm in business for a long time, and every time that I have a new product or a new idea, I share with some people. I have other friends of mine that also are in the business. I tend not to go for people that are in the same business that I'm in, because that they have the same mindset that I have. So I tend to go for people that are totally in different business that I am, because they give me a different mindset. For instance, I have a friend of mine that has a brand of pizzerias. So he has stores, and that is what he does. And it's really nice because he has a totally different mindset than I have. And it's the business that is in is very different as well, because food is a very particular business. And I like to share because then I can bring for coaching and training the same energy of imagine giving food to people and the same mindset. And that is so nice. And getting the let's say the people hearing you talking about your intention and what you want and how you, for instance, how you're going to do this presentation, they can also give you feedback like, oh, I don't get enthusiastic when you say that to me. So that's is something that I think that is really important in business, and sometimes so hard to do because people don't want to tell the secrets and people want to do it by themselves, is to create a strongest peer group. Is people that you share your ideas, you share your doubts, you ask the opinion, and you can get a different mindset. A peer group, a good peer group, will make a huge difference. Okay, so use this and connect with other people and do this as a system and not only as an exercise right now. Another thing, anyone wants to share something else that happened during the sharing and the exercise? No. Okay, we continue. The last thing that I would like to talk to you about is emotional state. Okay. Why I want to talk to you about this? Because it's very important when you are presenting. It's very important when you are an entrepreneur. Emotional state is probably the big secret. How can you keep yourself in an emotional state that will amplify your potential? So how can you make sure that you are in daily in an emotional state that is always giving you more from your potential and not the opposite? Yeah. And why this is so important? Because we know that most part of us is also having alone, and we are by ourselves most part of the times, and more even if we are, for instance, CEOs of companies. So that means that we are, the alone in that place of the company, and we are the ones that are creating the ideas and creating the vision and the mission. Yeah. Emotional state is also something that, like I said before, is contagious. So you need to trust that your emotional state will pass to other people. So if you want people to be enthusiastic about your product, you need to be enthusiastic. You cannot have any doubt. One time I remember that I was doing a training, and I was called by a brand, an international brand for clothing and fashion. And they asked me to do a training because they were having difficulties in selling a particular product. And they said, okay, can you help us out? Because this is one of our core products, is one of our distinguished products, and we are not selling it. So that's something that we don't want. And the product was dresses. So they were really a company, they had a very particular way of doing dresses and with quality, but they were not selling that. What is really strange, right? You create a brand that is focused in one main product, and you sell all the other things, and you don't sell your main product. So strange. So I got a little bit fascinated about what was happening. So I went to Spain, and I was at the door when in the hotel waiting for people to come in, and was like all the regional managers, were the store managers, was the marketing, was everyone in the company was coming to this training. Can you guess how many people were wearing dresses? 0. I was the only one, because I got a dress from the brand, so I was the only one with a dress. Are you expecting to sell them if the people inside of your company are not wearing them? Like, it's no magical, it's like you cannot expect magic. So if I never try a dress, if I don't use a dress, if I cannot speak about a dress, I will not be able to sell a dress, because I don't know what I'm talking about, and people will feel it, So one of the first things that I said, I opened the training set saying, okay, after this training, you are going to have a bag, and whatever is inside of that bag, you are going to wear it. And then the HR was in front, and she's like, huh? And then in the break, she came to me and said, do I need to do anything? I said, yes, you need to put dresses in bags, and you need to give dresses to these people. And you're like, oh, okay. And that happened. So in the end, of course, this was not only this that will make the difference, because then you need to put the dress and believe that the dress is good, right? But this is a great example, and I always give this example. So if you have your product, if you have your company, if you have your people, you need to be able to show that not only with your words, but with your enthusiastic. You need to be able to use your things, your product, you need to be able to feel your company in your bones, you know, to be able to speak with that. And people say, okay, I believe you. You know, I want to do whatever you tell me to do. And that is a big difference. So emotional intelligence is a huge thing for entrepreneurs. And being able to receive no's after no's and continue. And being able to receive people saying, I don't want this, and to continue. And being able to say, okay, this is my intention and this is what I'm going to do. What is that emotional state? One question that you can ask yourself is, what is the emotional state that is more connected with my intention? And find ways of building that emotional state daily. Any ways possible. Any ways possible. Like hearing a song, talking to a friend, dancing, moving, seeing talks that inspire you, whatever. But do it, because your emotional state is your best branding. You are the best branding. So if you are able to pass by your emotional state, what your company is, what your product is, I can guarantee to you that other people will feel the same. They will feel the same. And sometimes doesn't mean that they are going to buy it in that moment. For many reasons, some people cannot buy it in that moment, but they will remember you and they will come back when they can buy it. So what is an emotional state? An emotional state is a chain of emotions. An emotion is a biochemical reaction. So every time that you receive an impact from the external world, your full system, your full body is going to react to that. In 1 minute, you can have more than 100 emotions happening in your system. It's a lot. So when people are saying, you are too emotional, and I go like, so are you? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not possible. Everyone has them. So each one of us, if you are not broken, that I don't believe you are, you have in 1 minute 100 emotions happening in your body. So the emotional state is this chain of what are these 100 emotions. To create this emotional state, to create this thing that you can call it emotional state, mood, you can other words that define this. But what you want to make sure is that this 100 emotions are the ones that will support your intention. To have this emotional state that whatever happens, you are going to stay in this emotional state. You are going to continue your intention, whatever happens outside of you. And when you are doing also public speaking, speeches, presentations, it's the same thing. Never give up on your emotional state. Never let your emotional state be, inflamed by other people. I have a great example. One time we were doing a talk, and so my husband was before me. We were like in a conference, and he was the first one, and I think I was the fourth one or something like that. And he goes, and he finished his talk, and we had a small break, and he comes to me and say, oh my God, was this guy really in front that was really disturbing me in the beginning? I said, I saw it, I saw it. Was a man, and we knew who he was. He was the CEO of the company. So that, of course, creates a little bit more impact. And he was like this. All the time, like in the front row, like the first thing that he sees is the person like this. And then we were in the break, and Peter was saying this to me, like, oh my God, Now, like this face, I think he was mad. I don't know if it was with me. I said, no, probably not, because yeah, I was looking at him and it was like all like that, always like that. The guy comes, you know, you were like having a juice, and he comes, best talk ever. And can you inform your body that you liked it, because you cannot see it? So he was like, by standard, he was like, ugh. But the thing is that if, for instance, Peter was only focused on that, you will think, oh my God, he's not liking it. No, 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 no. It's like, I continue with my emotional state. You know, I'm feeling good. This is what I want to be doing. And I continue, because you never know what is happening in the other side. And you also cannot control it. Honestly, yeah, you know, you cannot do anything about it. You just keep yourself in yourself, and you take care of yourself. And that is something that I think is very important. One time I did a training of stand-up comedy. It was the most amazing training that I did, and I swear that I don't do stand-up comedy. Is not my thing at all. But I did it just for knowledge, just to try it out. And one of the things that they say there is, I found it like, wow, this is a great metaphor. They say, never give the mic to the audience. Never give, even if you go, for instance, sometimes you see that in stand-up comedy, they go to the audience and they ask a question like, oh, what is your life? What is that? To create a joke, right? To create they say, you do that, you can ask people, but you never give the mic. You never lose the mic from your hand, because you never know what happens when people get the mic. And I got that as a lesson for my life. Never give the mic of my life to anyone else. It's my mic. It's my life, you know. You are not going to steal my show. And that is one thing that I keep for myself when I'm doing public speaking or a presentation. This is my mic. I'm the one, you know, the owner of this show. And for me, that is very, very important, because no one is going to take care of your own performance that is not you. You need to take care of your own performance. And that sometimes makes people think, oh, but I don't want to look like a diva. Or, it's your show, it's your life, it's your company. You should become a diva. Now, you should become like expressing your desires, you know? So that is one thing, that we should not go for big modesty or like, oh, now let's be normal. No, it's too important. It's too important. Our life is too important for that. Yeah. So this is what I would like to give you: intention, rapport, flexibility, and the last thing, the emotional state. Any questions, any sharing, any complaints? Now is the moment. Open your mic and tell me things.
All right, so it's raining here. I don't know if you can hear me clear.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I only have a question, like, let's say you're pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pitching for a group of potential investors. Mm-hmm. Let's say you connect with maybe some of them, then one of them kind of sounds a bit against almost everything you say. How do you control your emotions in such a moment, not to give away the fact that you are being provoked somehow by how the person that is kind of not connecting with you? How do you control yourself in a state like that?
You don't. It's not about controlling; it's maintaining. Okay, because if you start, and I'm a little bit picky with words, but if you control, you lose mental space. Okay, because you are too focused on that person. The only thing that you need to do is maintaining your emotional state. For that, what I will advise you is that you create what technically we call an anchor for the emotional state. That means that you can, for instance, build up the emotional state before you start, and then you create a physical anchor. So I don't know, can be like a gesture like this, or a gesture like this, or even a ring or something, but something that you can do that anyone else can see, okay? So you build up the emotional state, you put yourself in that energy, and then you do the gesture. Imagine that is this, okay? You do it.
Okay.
If you are in the presentation and you feel the emotional state going down, you do the gesture again. This is what is called, and I'm giving you a very fast explanation what is an anchor, but this is what is called a physical anchor triggering an emotional state.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I can send you, now I'm thinking that I think I have a video, I need to check, with this, with the anchoring. If I have it, I can send it to Claire and she can share it with you. I'm going to check.
Okay, all right.
Yeah?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question or sorry?
Oh, and I'm saying
Can you get
What was two things at the same time? Sorry. Okay, now we lost the two of them.
Oh no,
can you get me?
You had a
Yes.
great presentation. It has been a great presentation so far.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, someone wants to say something else?
Okay, sure. Hi, thank you for the
Hi.
presentation.
You're welcome.
My question, I need some advice on you talked about the report and how to end the report. So I'm also in the business of counseling. I do it on a daily basis apart from entrepreneurship. So I've kind of a difficulty in ending the report to just say no to somebody. Somebody's asking for favor, and so I feel I've done something evil if I say no. So I'll try to go in between.
I understand.
So I don't get their feelings. How best can I say just no, I cannot manage this? I feel like I'm gonna die if I say that. Yeah.
I understand.
How can that mean?
One of the things that you can do is start with your body. So when you want to say no, instead of starting like no, you start like no. Or for instance, imagine that this is the table. Of course, you're not going to, but you put the hand and you say no. So you start with your body, okay? Ways to train this and to, let's say, to become more natural for you to say no is one very simple exercise, and for some people it's really hard to do, is that you look to the mirror, you put yourself in the mirror and you say, stop, stop. And you do this until you reach this tone of voice that can be really mean. So because sometimes, and you reach really like stop, stop. And some people, when I do this exercise, they go like, stop, stop. I'm exaggerating, okay? But like, no, it must be like, stop. And until you reach this energy of saying, okay, stop now. Huh? So my kids say, Mom, Jesus Christ, no one is messing up with you. And I said, no, you're like, stop. You know, this is something that you can train. And when you reach this energy, you're going to feel like, oh, okay. And of course, you're not going to say this to the client, but you get the energy, you know how to do it. And then when you repeat the gesture, is again the trigger, is again the anchor. When you do this, that energy comes a little bit. Yeah? So your body is your best ally. Yeah? So use that and train in front of the mirror until you can get this police officer energy, you know, like stop, and you get really mad. And it's not, for instance, for me, it's not also a natural thing, but I can do it very well. So people believe me. So that's the energy that we want. Okay. And then when you are in a meeting, you use the hand to call that energy again. Yeah, makes sense what I'm saying?
Yes, makes much sense. Very clear.
Good. Any other questions? Any other sharings? Okay, beautiful people. My time is over and I let you go. So how do you control? Oh, I have a question. When getting title angry, when the voice is tendency to raise. Okay, you don't control your voice. You need to go for the emotion. The emotion is before the voice. So the voice is corresponding to an emotion. What you need to be doing is that sometimes the best way to do is to express the emotion. That is one of the first principles of emotional intelligence is name the emotion. The emotion tends to diminish the degree. So for instance, if you are angry or you feel like getting a little bit upset, you can say, okay, I realize that I'm getting a little bit disturbed with this conversation and it's making me a little upset. So go and always try to name what are you feeling. When you name what you're feeling, the emotion tends to sometimes even disappear. What makes the emotion grow is the non-naming. Then the system feels like, okay, I need to express, I need to do it bigger for this person to realize what is going on. It's almost like your system is talking to yourself, okay? If you name, the system will say, okay, she saw us. I don't need to increase, she saw us, and so she will take care of that. So start learning how can you name your emotions and not waiting that they grow until you express them. Express, slow. Every time that you are feeling something happening different, give it a name. That is the best way to get to the point that your emotion will not rise. Because as your emotion rise, your voice rises. Yeah. So is the emotion that you need to express. I hope it's clear, my answer. Any other question? Complaints? One complaint of that? No.
I think Beth, are you putting up your, do you want to jump in? We saw your finger go up.
No.
Okay, thumbs up.
Yeah, Martin, emotional intelligence, because Martin's saying I need more mentorship on emotions. My dear, everyone needs it. So it's, I think it's an ongoing process. So but it's a good topic maybe to bring along in some sessions. Why not? I think it's very important. Yes. So beautiful people, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for hearing me. I hope you connect in LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place. So be free to connect. I would like to see you again.
Thank you so much, Ligia. So if everyone, we can give her a virtual round of applause, show your appreciation with the emojis. We love to see it. Thank you so much, Ligia, for your time and your great energy and amazing insights. For everyone here, I will be following up to this webinar with all the materials, all the recordings, and we will be having other masterclasses, perhaps inviting Ligia back for a session on emotional intelligence very soon. Very needed, I agree. So with that, I wish you all a good Friday afternoon, and looking forward to seeing you all using your new tools in action. Thank you so much, Ligia. Bye, everyone.
From Portugal. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.